the work that Hutchins has been doing, he has Tesla coils, he has Van de Graaff, and he has, very frankly, static electricity generators. Notice that data doesn't have to make sense.
Right.
Data just has to be truthful.
The truth.
That's right.
It's more important than proving Einstein right or wrong.
Okay, now his data showed everything from a chocolate milkshake snaking toward the top of his room to bowling balls floating in the air. To I have all his data, and I've been following it. I am a senior scientist from Lockheed Martin. I have been a senior research engineer for Howard Hughes, Texas Instruments. Nevertheless, we've been working for some time now in order to determine where the next energy levels are going to come from. Now by that I mean we aren't talking about wind or solar or even atomic. We have other formats of energy that we've theoretically proven that are available. Not only that, but there have been significant developments, and many times the things that we look at and call UFOs are really some of the developments that we've been involved with.
That Lockheed has been involved with?
That were open. Looks pretty good to us down.
So are these some of the UFOs we're seeing you believe are ours, that are United States military?
Well, Area 51 is literally where the majority of the things that we call the Black Program were developed, and many times sightings would occur directly associated with them.
So you had
As I conducted tests, every now and then nature would not give us what we wanted, but it gave us something else.
something else.
And I would sweep it under the rug because it didn't match theory.
So do you
And after a while I said, that is not honest. That is not proper. You must record the data properly. And indeed, once you record the data, then you start modifying the theory. Einstein's work is only a slight modification of Newton's work. But we do understand that Newton's work has, Newton's work, for example, Newton says anything that's in motion tends to remain in motion, right? Okay, so I have something, and I'm taking it around counterclockwise. And see it, and what Newton said is true. It just wants to go around and around and around and around and around. This particular thing is called a celt. It is not. It's clear plastic. There's nothing in it. Okay, now I'm going to take it around clockwise. It says, no, I don't want to do that. It's just like my children. I will do it my own way.
How did it go the other way?
Precisely. A Newton's law.
Is that because of the rotation of the planet, or?
Well, there
Can I try that?
You may. In fact, first of all, send it around counterclockwise.
Okay. And this is called a cell?
It is celt. C-E-L-T.
What's in it? Okay, there we go.
Nothing's in it. It's plastic. Okay, now take it around clockwise.
Okay.
And it says no, and it goes back the same number of turns you sent.
I've never seen anything like that.
Now go out stronger. I know. See, I'm looking for the exception to the rule. You have to, if you can use language, you really need to convert it into mathematics.
Yep.
And calculate what your theory would say that it would do.
My theory is, like I've looked at, and on that CD I sent you, in bubble chambers,
Yes.
if you look at, they have a lead sheet in this particular photograph. super high frequency gammas strike the wedge sheet and through the photoelectric effect give off electron-anti-electron pairs. And there's two sets of pairs. And the electron has a longer wavelength and the anti-electron positron has a shorter wavelength, which means there's a differential between the electron and anti-electron pairs, which means one is stronger than the other if you convert it through a Planck formula or even Einstein formula.
Well, see,
And that means one of the clockwise and anti-clockwise would the differential between them would be one is stronger in mass energy equivalent. The other, like for example,
well, take that.
Yeah.
Well, take that with you, and when you get together with your friends that agree with you, have them do the math, and I would like a copy of the math.
there's a
back.
differential.
A lot of people are doing nothing more than getting huge quantities of mass and see if they can get a gravity wave to cause things to move. Well, that isn't what we're talking about at all. So I wondered if gravity could be related to its cousin magnetism. And so I found that when I take two magnets together, I have some neodymiums around here that I'm actually afraid of.
They're so strong.
They can danger you. But anyhow, you take a magnet, you go to put them together, and they go clunk, right? But you take one of them, move it around, and all of a sudden it doesn't want to go
right.
together.
The repulsive.
So I got I ordered one at $5,000 a piece, with a 1/4-inch hole through between both of them, and I put a brass bolt and I tightened them down, forcing them together. And then I put them together in a thing that looks kind of like a rock. Okay, and then I got another one that didn't have magnets in it. And Galileo, in all his endeavors, he went up to the Leaning Tower of Pisa,
And drop the.
and he dropped a big rock and a small rock. And his buddy down at the bottom kept telling him that the large rock and the small rock arrived at the same time.
Well, in my left hand I have a feather. In my right hand a hammer. And I guess one of the reasons we got here today was because of a gentleman named Galileo a long time ago who made a rather significant discovery about falling objects in gravity fields. And we thought that where would be a better place to confirm his findings than on the moon. And so we thought we'd try it here for you. The feather happens to be appropriately a falcon feather for our falcon. And I'll drop the two of them here, and hopefully they'll hit the ground at the same time. How about that? That proves that Mr. Galileo was correct in his findings.
Well, I went up to in the Lockheed Building 501 by the side of escalators and elevators,
Oh wow!
and I got 9 guys that were not educated and didn't have pre opinions on anything, and I dropped my 2 rocks. And I said, what I would like you to do is, I told them what I would like you to do is I would like you to take whichever one arrives first, get it in your hand, and when I come down the elevator, hand it to me. Now, they looked identical, except for...
So, and nobody knew what was inside?
No, absolutely not. All the 9 times that I tested it, it's as though the one with the opposing magnet field extending out 3 feet on each side. I actually measured
how big the field is.
How big the field was, and on each side of one rock, I had a total of 6 feet. At any rate, the other rock arrived first.
Which one arrived first?
The one that had no magnetic field in it.
So you were able to cancel out gravity to a certain degree. You
How
were
do you
able
like
to
that?
cancel,
Precisely.
reduce the mass gravity effect
Precisely.
by
Okay.
by opposing fields.
Isn't that nice? You bet. And got 9 signatures and I always get,
You did that at Lockheed. What year
certainly.
was this?
At least 8 years ago.
This is the actual document of Boyd's where he proved that by altering the field in a falling body, the magnetic field, it reduced its mass gravity equivalent and canceled out the effects of gravity to a certain percentage. And he did a building 500 drop test conducted from a height of 59 feet The location is in White Settlement, Texas, and the time was 12:20 p.m. and this was in 1995, December 12th. Nobody knows this.
I know it.
So gravity, mass gravity, is not. You can alter it. In other words.
Gravity within itself has to have. Gravity goes through anything that is solid and anything like iron or anything else, but it has to have a magnetic component, which may be canceling out within itself. But as soon as it got around my rock, it all of a sudden recognized the presence of my rock.
One of Einstein's students tried to merge electromagnetism and gravity, and he rejected it. But he didn't have an experiment like you did.
No, I understand. I know that.
Yeah.
But see, nature never uses English. It doesn't speak. It doesn't speak any language. But yet it's talking to us all the time.
Right.
And the key thing is to identify what it's saying.
Order DVD at www.fromheretoandramada.com.
Does Lockheed Martin or does anybody possess working anti-gravity technology right now, or are we still trying to understand how these ET craft are working? Have we reverse engineered the technology at Roswell successfully, which would mean some of the UFOs we're seeing now that are silent and hovering?
I've given you the Lazar tapes, and that's as far as I can talk.
Okay, that's good.
It's only because I got the Lazar tapes from a White World forum.
Right.
And
but you can't say anymore.
Well, people kept encroaching on Area 51, such that Area 51 is now being moved to Tooele, Utah.
Here's one thing. This makes sense to me. If you can cancel out gravity in a falling body, and you can even reduce a percentage of the effects of gravity for aircraft, it would take less fuel. They would be more efficient. And they could hover with less energy, and that much I can figure out.
And the atmospheric edge of the Earth will be meaningless. Would you like to see a picture of the nuclear-powered aircraft?
Oh, yeah. What's the date on this one?
I refuse to say, but there's the nuclear pile that actually flew.
That hunk of junk right there flew?
It actually was in the belly, providing...
Oh, that was in the belly of that.
That's right. It's just like in the belly of a submarine.
Providing anti-gravity. So it's shaped like an aircraft.
Well,
it's aerodynamic. So that we don't think that it's not using its wings.
Well,
I get it.
It has an energy source, okay?
I understand.
And it is staying in the and here's what it looked like down inside of the protective. It was.
And that's at Area 51?
No, much closer than we'd care to admit.
Oh, Texas. Well, I mean, Lockheed's the contracts here was in the paper this morning. $27 billion in the last couple of years. Most of the majority of the defense contracts are here in Texas with Lockheed. I mean,
well,
that's
certainly.
Much,
That's why I don't mind having a retirement from them. One of the old-time developments.
Oh.
Now, I happen to know the guy who put that together.
How far does this date back? March? No, Mach 1.2?
I know it doesn't say, but in actuality, it's way, way back. The first,
Really?
we must be at least 30 to 40 years.
60s? After the Roswell crash, in the first week of July of 1947, it is alleged that the alien bodies in the craft are taken to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio. That's where the alien bodies in the craft were taken. What Boyd Bushman is holding up is a document that states that a reverse-engineered nuclear-powered flying saucer that has a ceiling of over 60,000 feet, a range of 3,000 miles, nuclear-powered anti-gravity saucer that we reverse engineered from the alien craft, and he knows who did it. He's testifying. Boyd Bushman is the man who designed the Stinger missile for General Dynamics. He worked for Howard Hughes. He worked for 20 years. He was at Lockheed Martin. He had access to above top secret and top secret files. He knows how to develop and reverse engineer anti-gravity technology and is actually demonstrating it in front of us. And here we are for the first time in history. He is showing us proof that at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, we reverse engineered flying saucer technology. In 1959 was the first date this thing flew. I mean, this is incredible. He's giving us what no one has ever been able to find before. And, you know, he won't say, you know, that it was an alien craft, obviously. I mean, it could have been something that was ours. But if we have anti-gravity, if we've developed anti-gravity at Lockheed or, you know, any level, secret level of the Black Ops, you know, divisions of research, why aren't we using it in the war? Why doesn't the F-117 levitate? Or does the F-117 levitate?
Well, the key question from a physics point of view is a matter of another force.
Mm-hmm.
The question is are there more forces beyond the 4 or 5 forces that we're all acquainted with?
Mm-hmm.
The strong force, that's holding
The strong force, I understand that.
The strong force and weak force, electromagnetic force and gravity. Well, we have been under some development recently where the astronomers have begun to analyze the motion of galaxies apart.
Right.
And we have identified that indeed the galaxies are being impelled apart.
Mm-hmm.
We used to say at increasing velocities. The recent data and the better data says that there's still a repulsing force. Well, a repulsing force is an anti-gravity.
It's stronger than gravity.
Literally.
Mm-hmm.
Newton says for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction, right? Well, okay. If that's true, then I don't know. Don't let me get this thing lost, but if I let this fall on this carpet, mm-hmm. if I had a concrete, if its elasticity
mm-hmm.
was the same, then the best that it could do would be to come back to the same height that I drop it from, right?
Right.
And if it came out higher than that, then I would have violated Newton's law of equal and opposites, right? Okay, I need your hand. This is a standard tube, and you're going to catch these. These are magnets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now do notice that this is copper.
Mm-hmm.
It does not care about copper at all. It is not like iron. This one just
straight through,
right on
less
through.
than a second.
And this one,
1,002, 1,003, 1,004, 1,004 seconds.
No, that's true. So now,
so you're canceling out gravity.
Well, by something that cares little about magnetism.
The two opposing forces in here.
It's a matter of what is the aluminum doing. Why does it care about moving electrons?
Right.
Similarly, over here, I have aluminum.
On May 24th, 2003, Jeff Willis got some of the most amazing footage of a daylight flying saucer I've ever seen.